Hi and welcome to Marissa's Kitchen. Today I want to show you one of my favorite THM desserts. It has really helped me at those times of year when there's just a lot more candy in the house and you're tempted to eat your kids' candy. If I have these in the house, then I don't feel deprived because it tastes to me like candy, like a peanut butter cup. So it's something I've eaten a lot in the last year and still been able to lose 20 pounds in the last year. I found this recipe on the THM Facebook group a really long time ago, like when I first started THM almost 5 years ago. And so at that time, I really wasn't very good at saving recipes that I found. I was copying and pasting them and putting them into a Word document. And I wasn't really doing it in such a way that was conducive to giving credit to who I got the recipe from. So unfortunately, I don't know who created this recipe to give credit to, but I love this recipe. If I ever figure out who came up with it, I would love to tell them thank you. And also, I have found different variations of these. I know a lot of the THM bloggers have their own little version of like a peanut butter dessert that has chocolate on top. What I love about this recipe is it is a 4-ingredient recipe and it can be made, it's really versatile and can be made into different things. I have sometimes made it so that it is like a little peanut butter chocolate chip cookie dough, and I will roll that up and have those in my fridge and eat them just like that. I also have rolled them and dipped them in chocolate to make like a little truffle, and these are really nice to have around the holidays, and they make a great gift if you have a friend that's doing THM. And then the third way, which I'm trying today, is to layer it in a little pan and then layer chocolate over top, and so that way you could cut little squares. So I really love how versatile this recipe is. I often will just eat it out of the bowl with a spoon because I'm a little impatient to, wanting to roll it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So the recipe calls for 1/4 cup butter, so half of a stick of butter that I've already softened in the microwave. And then about 5 tablespoons of gentle sweet. The recipe originally called for Truvia, and it called for, a little sweetener cloud going on. It called for 4 tablespoons of ground Truvia. So I used to take Truvia and grind it in my coffee grinder, and then I would measure out the 4 tablespoons. I think I measured out 4 tablespoons of Truvia and then ground them. So, and then I'm going to add a 1/3 cup of natural peanut butter. And today I have crunchy. I've often made it, you can make it with creamy or crunchy, whatever you prefer if you're in the crunchy peanut butter camp or the creamy peanut butter camp. And then I have just, 2/3 cup peanut flour. And that's it, guys. It's just those 4 ingredients. The original recipe did call for like a 1/8 teaspoon of sea salt, but I have never added that just because I tend to think that peanut butter is salty enough. So now I'm going to mix that up in my mixer until it is the consistency of cookie dough. Okay, so a dough has formed, so I'm going to go ahead and get that out. I also, one time while my mixer was going, I did stop and taste it, and I thought it just needed a touch more sweetener. So, you really can adjust this to your sweet tooth. And you could even start with 4 tablespoons of gentle sweet if you don't have a real strong sweet tooth, and see if that's enough for you. But I find somewhere between 5 and 6 of the gentle sweet. But if you were using Truvia, you would only need 4 because Truvia is sweeter than gentle sweet. And if you don't mind crunchiness, you wouldn't have to grind it in the coffee grinder because that's why they grind it, is to make it more like a powdered sugar. But here I'm going to show you what my peanut butter ball dough looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and with this peanut butter ball dough, I am adding chocolate chips. So the kind that I use is Lily's, and it is sweetened with stevia, so these are on plan. And you can just add as little or as much chocolate chips, and this is making the cookie dough version of the peanut butter roll mix. So I'm gonna mix in some of those. And then now I am ready to scoop this stuff out, and I'm gonna show you that. So I have my little tray here with my wax paper, and if you like them smaller, you could use like just a measuring spoon and, you know, scoop some out like that, or just a regular spoon and roll it up. Or if you want to save time, I love these scoopers from Pampered Chef, and those make it really easy to scoop out if you're in a hurry. You wouldn't, if you roll them by hand, you can make them smaller and get more balls out of it, but if you use the scooper, they're going to be a little bit bigger. So that is the cookie dough version if you're gonna do it that way. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how I roll these out. I already had some pre-made dough that didn't have the chocolate chips in it in the fridge, and you do want to let it sit in the fridge and get a little colder so that it firms up a little bit and also is a little bit colder and firmer for dipping in the chocolate. So I use one of these, kind of like an ice cream scoop. You know, I get a little more in there. That's about the size that I do. I used to make Oreo truffles and sell them at bazaars, so this is something I've enjoyed doing in the past, is dipping stuff in, you know, making truffles and dipping stuff in chocolate. So it's kind of fun to get to still do that on THM. So there, I have a few rolled up. I'll do one more. And I'm going to show you how I dip these in chocolate. Okay, I just melted some Lily's chocolate chips in the microwave, and on like 50% power, I did 15 seconds and then would stir 15 seconds, stir until it was melted, so you don't scorch it, which you can. I have done that before. So I often will put this back in the fridge and let it firm up a little bit, so that they are easier for dipping, but I'm gonna just go ahead and do this. If I have a hard time with it sticking, then we might have to put those back in the fridge for just a minute. So, and then I will often make like a little swirl on top. So I got this tool with, I believe it came with a Wilton melting pot that I was given. It was a gift from my mom when I was making truffles a lot for bazaars. She got me that melting pot, and then this handy little scooper dipper thing. So there. So you just roll it in the chocolate. You could use a regular spoon if you don't have one of these. I don't assume that you would have one of these, but if you are into candy making, then you might. But you could get them, I think they sell them at like Joann Fabrics or Michael's in kind of like the cake and candy, cake decorating candy aisle. So that is how I dip mine into truffles. And these are kind of a must. I love having these at Christmas time. I don't feel deprived if I have a little truffle to bite into. There you have the little truffle version. What I'm gonna do with the rest of this chocolate is I made, this is actually my first time doing this. I made this little little pan where I've put spread my peanut butter dough. I used like the cupcake decorator, you know, this the frosting spreader sort of thing to get it all smooth. And then I'm just gonna throw some of this melted chocolate, and I might only have enough for half because I'm on my last bag of Lily's, and I kind of hoard that stuff as far as like, oh, I don't want to run out. So I might have to melt up some more to get these completely covered, but then I would refrigerate this and cut it into squares and enjoy. So I'm excited to try it this way since I've never done it with the chocolate on top. So there you see, there's 3 ways that you can use this to your liking. 4 if you just eat it by itself with a spoon. So I will finish doing that afterwards. So there you have it, my favorite THM treat. And let me know if you try them. I would love to hear what your favorite way of having them is. And they do freeze well. I have put these in the freezer. So, you know, if you're someone that likes to make stuff up ahead of time for the holidays, these are great to make ahead and keep in the freezer, or just keep a, you know, a stash of them on hand for when you have that sweet tooth. So we have a birthday in our family tomorrow. So these will be fun as we're celebrating. I get to have my own little treat. And anyway, have a great day.